Hi, everybody. And welcome to something new we're trying this year. We're calling it the Hoedown Lowdown. And it's going to be a quick 20 to 30-minute asterisk next to that.
No, in quote, like, can we
In
say in quote,
20 to
20
30
to 30
minutes
minutes. It's not
rundown of really how you can apply, healing practically, practical healing methods to everyday issues that pop up for us. And today, because it's February, we are going to do our very first hoedown lowdown on romance.
Yes, yay. Which it just is like, we're going along with Valentine's Day and, uh but really romance, we need it, like, all the time. Well, okay, not all the time, but you can integrate this into your life at all times, and it's good, like we've talked about in our archetype series, to be the lover.
Mhm.
And it is a part of us. So how do we do that? I'm so excited for our hoedown lowdowns, by the way. Like,
Me too.
I'm so
Me too.
excited.
I'm a little nervous that we're not going to be able to keep it to 30 minutes, but we're going to try our hardest, y'all.
We really, 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 really are. We're gonna try and talk fast, but we still talk fast, but we just talk a lot. So, but our intention is to like give you we're going to talk about maybe a crystal or an essential oil, or there's going to be a meditation, or like who knows
Food.
what else we'll talk
There's
about,
going
or
to be food.
food integrated, a holistic approach to whatever the topic is of the
And
hoedown lowdown.
right, and how you can integrate those, crystals, essential oils, maybe a meditation, and obviously food in everyday life to achieve, whatever this week's hoedown lowdown is about. So in this case, it's romance. And Reba, you wanna kick us off?
Yeah. I started thinking about romance for myself, of course, and I've been married for 16 years. We've been together for 17.
Well,
And yeah, and we've had kids and we've gone through lots of different ups and downs, but romance ebbs and flows sometimes in those times, right? Whenever you're
mhm.
like, "Oh, we're in the middle of a remodel," or our kids are really like they're little and they need all of our time and they're sleeping in our bed and they're like we're not taking time for date nights. Um so my kids are a little older and I am finding more time, and we're not only that, we're taking more time from romance. And so
Mhm.
I was thinking about like how am I cultivating this in my relationship? And I think there are 3 main things that I was thinking about romance, and I do want you to chime in too. Um, but the things that I wanted to focus on today were presence, being present in our bodies and being present with our partner. And once that can happen, whenever we can be in this space together, um, which I think it's like the which one comes first, the chicken or the egg kinda thing? It's like creating the ambiance. Can you get present because there's ambiance, or can you get present because wait, did I say that right? Like,
Or can the ambiance make
it's
you more
coming.
present?
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Which I think is both. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about love languages and, focusing on that. So, I guess what I wanna talk about then is how to use crystals, to create romance and, well, I don't know, I guess too, I wanna talk about what is romance? And, like, what does that feel like for you? I mean, we'll keep this really sort of super quick because we have so much to talk about, but what does that mean to you, Megan, you know?
Oh, man. Well, my kids are little but getting older, and I think really recently we've just been at a point where we can really kind of focus on what that means for us. And I think for us, it's about making the experience good for the other person. So, loving selflessly, like being more concerned about how the other person feels and less concerned about getting yours. You know what I mean?
Okay, I heard this thing. Okay, God, we're gonna get off on a tangent, but
Shit.
okay, but so I recently so that is part of it, right? Like, being selfless and being giving. So, um, being able to give love and all of those things, but
Mhm.
also able the ability to receive, um sorry if I don't know that anyone listens with their kids onto our podcast. But anyways, I heard this thing where it was like, "Your orgasm is your responsibility." And
Ooh,
I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I that thought is like that brings you out of, well, a victim mode, and not that I'm
right,
saying
exactly.
having but you're empowered to
Mhm.
say, like, my orgasm or my getting love is my responsibility. And so then we move into self-love and all of those things. There's lots of things that can hold us back from romance and love, and this is a whole deeper complex subject than what we have time for or what we're trying to do. But I don't know, using crystals, using oils, using those other things will help us create that ambiance. So, the first crystal I guess I want to talk about is rose quartz, which I love them, and I know not all of you are watching on YouTube, but if you wanna go to our YouTube, I will show you. I got my rose quartz, and they are just oh, where's my camera?
Where am I? Where am I?
They just make me feel happy. They're so pretty. They're like this light pink, and I use them in lots of different ways, but one of my favorite ways to use them, well, the reason I use them, I guess, is that they are all about self-love. They help balance the energy in your heart chakra and make that energy more open to love. And so I you can put it on your heart chakra area right above your heart. You can lay down and kind of just let them sit there. You can put them in on the root or on the base of the spine kind of, and that helps balance that energy too. They're associated with those, the rose quartz are associated with those 2 chakras. I also put them in a bowl, like, next to my bed or something, like, you can get a whole bunch of them and just create this cute, uh, I don't know, space of love next to you. I think so crystals have, an energetic effect within 3 feet of you. That's at least what I have heard and experienced, especially when they're depends on how big they are. So having them next to the bed is a really fun place to have them. Um,
You can also put them underneath your pillow.
you can put them underneath your pillow unless you put your hand I'm like, I always put my hand underneath my pillow and, like,
Me too.
moving my pillows everywhere, so that's, like, not
I
practical
tuck
for
it in
me.
the pillowcase so I don't, like, knock it into something in the middle of the night. Um, but I think so I think real quick we should talk about, um, why people use crystals in healing to begin with. And I think, just real quick, crystals are of the earth. They are a part of the earth. They are a part of the earth's vibration. And each crystal has a different vibration. And so when we use certain crystals, we are basically using them as a tool to align with whatever vibration they emit. So in this case, rose quartz does, it's like the lavender of crystals, but
Yes, it is.
in this case, for this purpose, rose quartz emits, a heart opening, gentle, loving, universal love type frequency. And so that's why we've chosen this crystal, for this particular purpose. But we could probably use rose quartz for like everything that
Literally
ails us.
everything. Yeah, so just, like, put it in your house.
Yeah.
But I love thank you for saying that because yes, and that is kind of what we're talking about with everything. So, essential oils, all of these other things, we are energy and vibration, and some people are like, "I don't understand," but you'll understand whenever you walk into your grandma's house or someone's house and they're baking cookies, and that smell and um, that smell creates a different mood for you, right? Or when you eat a certain food, it's can be comforting. It can also
Mhm.
be arousing or, an aphrodisiac, but
Oh, we're gonna get there.
oh, yes, exactly. So, The same can go for crystals, and the same thing goes for things that you put in your house. Like, I'm sure you've all been like, "Oh, this piece of furniture just is sort of like doesn't feel right." Maybe you haven't actually. Maybe you haven't had that experience, but I do. Like, there are things that I'm like, "That freaking ugly piece of furniture I hate in my house. It literally makes me angry." But
Right.
so do things of beauty. They create an ambiance, that this atmosphere and vibration that you want in your house or in your area. So whenever you are trying to create the energy of romance, the vibration of romance, these are things to bring in. So yes, I skipped ahead. I was like,
That's
I just
okay.
went
That's
to
okay.
it.
I know, I mean, we're I think we're both feeling this time crunch we
We're like,
set for ourselves.
oh God.
So, and kind of like what you said, essential oils are distilled from plants, and plants come from the earth. And so, food, essential oils, crystals, all of them have an energetic vibration that we can tap into. And, it wouldn't be a holistic podcast if we didn't talk about essential oils.
Yeah. I feel like at first, before I knew about essential oils, I would be like, I'd see people selling doTERRA or doing those other things, and I'm like, "I don't get it, like, what? I don't understand." Until I freaking started using them, and I'm like, "I have so many, and I use them all the time, and my kids love them." But it does change your mood, your frequency, your vibration, and I you can diffuse them, you can put them in roller bottles, you can, just put them on your body, on
Mhm.
pulse points or anything like that, use them as a perfume, um, but it can shift and alter mood and energy and all the things. So, I know you had a few just to mention for the crystals before we move on to oils. Do you wanna kinda just read off your list of
I
other crystals to maybe potentially use?
Okay, I would love that. So, I have 4 different crystals that I think go really well with the romance topic, and hematite is a good crystal for new love, and it promotes grounding, courage, strength, and optimism. So if there's that guy that you've been wanting to ask out, put some hematite in your pocket, practice some positive affirmations in the mirror, and then go get him, tiger. Turquoise is for balanced love, and turquoise promotes togetherness, understanding, and acceptance.
I love that, I love turquoise so much.
It's so pretty. Lapis lazuli, which is my personal favorite, is a crystal for lasting love. So it strengthens the emotional bonds between you and maybe your partner or a friend or a new love that you have that you want to keep around. This would be a good one for that. And then ruby is a great crystal for renewed love. Rubies promote revitalization and intensify loving feelings.
Mm.
So,
I love that because a lot of people have, ruby rings, I feel like, as their
it's
maybe
a
not, maybe
birthstone for somebody. I can't.
yeah, definitely, but I'm saying, like, as a wedding ring, I feel like I know a few people who've had ruby. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe that's something, but one of the things I have done, I've actually gifted my husband, a crystal, and I think he was sorta like, "Thanks, weirdo." Like, "What do I do with this?"
Thanks.
But he has it on
Appreciate
his
that.
nightstand, like, you can gift them, you could do, you can they can be in jewelry, they
Mhm.
can, you can do a fun meditation together or visualization, like, you can put the crystals on top of you, like, on your heart chakra or along all of your chakras and
You can incorporate them into massage.
into a massage. Yes. Sometimes some of them are good also in baths,
Mhm.
um, or even just around the bath. So, I like that too, but I don't know. Explore. Go tell us what you found, try one of them, and then we'd love to hear your feedback.
Or
You
if
can find
you try something that we haven't listed, we'd love to hear that too, because
yes.
I love rocks.
Yes, you can find those at any metaphysical shop
Mhm.
or something like that.
The Tucson
So,
Gem
yeah.
Show is happening right now, so if you
Oh,
live in
yeah.
the Tucson or even Arizona area, head down there and get some good priced items.
Okay, we're doing really bad on time.
I know, okay. Essential oils, ready, go.
Ready, go. Okay, so there's some really fun, resources online about oils and blends together, but what I wanted to focus on most was getting present and grounded with, I don't know, getting in your space first, right? And the 3 that I really love, there's so many, are, of course, lavender, like you said. It's
Hey.
just good for everything. It's reducing stress. It's it literally does everything basically,
Mhm.
especially in women, but also for getting grounded, neroli. Have you ever experienced like, have you smelled neroli before?
I don't own it yet, but I have smelled it and it's magical. It smells so good.
It's super grounding and you can put all of these on any parts of your body, but if you are using them for, romance, arousal, all the things, you can put them on um the wrists, you can put them on like a perfume on your neck, you can put them over the heart, in the inside of the thighs, um, inside of the ankles.
Spicy.
Spicy, and then, over the navel, like, over your belly button kind of on that area, so you can do lavender, neroli, you can use them. Always be careful when you put them just straight on your skin. You always wanna, like, test or make sure that your skin's not sensitive to those things, or you can mix them with an oil. So, like, coconut oil, jojoba, what
If
almond
you
oil.
and you can, back to massages, you can
Yes.
use jojoba or almond oil and add these essential oils into that oil and use that as your massage oil. So you can kind of incorporate that as well.
Yes. So of course the other so
What is
I
neroli? Is it like a rose oil?
you know what, actually, I
Did I
don't
throw you a
know.
curveball?
You did, and
Good,
well, it
sorry.
does say citrus. This is the scientific name is like citrus. Oh my god, you guys, I'm getting so old. I cannot see close up. It's just it's actually it's just really small writing. So it might be a citrus fruit because well, bergamot is also one that I wanted to talk about, and it is a citrus too. It's super grounding, and I just love bergamot. It's actually in one of the love potion number 9s that, uh, recipes that someone did. It was like ylang ylang, is that how you say it? And bergamot and
Sure.
peppermint, and that one
Ooh.
sounds so spicy and just like, "Woo."
Mm,
Um, some of
yummy.
the other recipes are really there's a lot of them, but lime, geranium, orange, lavender, ylang ylang, patchouli, and cinnamon. That one was called Fireworks Recipe, and this is all in whimsy-and-wellness.com, which I had just found her, and I was like, "Those are really fun recipes." But if you let's say you only have lavender, and that's sort of why I wanted to talk to those people who might just have the base oils. So
Mhm,
lavender reduces stress and just gets you kind of present. Rose is for ambiance and arousal and increases libido. Like we know rose is like where it's at.
mhm.
But like rose can be really expensive. So anyways, Terra, they have a rose oil, like it's a rose touch, so it's already put with coconut oil, and I just use that, like, I put it on the crown of my head, my in between on my 3rd eye, all the spaces.
And it's probably
Um,
more affordable in that way than it
it
is
is.
straight. Because I've looked at buying rose before, and it's like $200
Yeah.
for a
Yes.
tiny little bottle. I'm like,
Y
"Pass,
yes.
hard pass."
Yes, but you can integrate that too, that energy and vibration is still in roses and rose
Mhm,
petals. Put them in a bath or, put them on the bed, do integrate them somehow, put them on the table if you're having a romantic dinner, create ambiance with that vibration because rose is like love. It's the highest vibration and it helps just like clear the space and the energy. Um, so Lang Lang is for low libido and it's literally used in almost every recipe that I looked up. So all of those are great. Um, Oh, neroli is also good for it decreases cortisol and improves symptoms of menopause, dryness, and low libido. So,
Awesome.
like, it is pretty exciting one. So, you can diffuse those, like, diffuse some lavender. Oh gosh, if we could talk more about this, I would, but go and look up stuff to diffuse because there are romantic ones for men also, and they're more of the like spruce and cinnamon and stuff like that that kind of gets the guys going.
Sandalwood. I feel like
Yes,
everything for
sandalwood,
men
yes.
is sandalwood.
Sandalwood, yes. That is it. That is also in there. Um, yes, and so bergamot is energizing and focusing at the same time. That's why I also love that one, and that one is a citrus, but it's grounding yet energizing. So really good for that.
Awesome. Can we talk about food now?
Let's do food. We gotta
Yay,
do
so excited.
it.
Oh god, we've got 10 minutes, Reba. We can do
We
this.
Oh my god.
Okay, we can do this. Okay. So I have a list of foods that I think we all know, and maybe we don't, but then I go into a little detail in some that maybe you haven't heard of, or you're like, whoa, that's kind of out of left field for me. So the basics are asparagus, figs, strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries, chili peppers, spicy. The capsaicin stimulates nerve endings, and
Mm.
that sounds like fun, right? Chocolate and oysters. And then artichokes are also really good. And I will post a link in the description to a great appetizer that I formulated for, I think it was for New Year's Eve, but it's an artichoke and olive bruschetta. So I'll post that link in the
Ooh,
notes. It's so good. Oh my God.
sounds delicious.
You could eat it on everything, personally. But to go into the more fun ones, because I'm a huge food nerd, ginkgo biloba is a good one. And we hear that that's great. I think we most know that one for memory and old people, but it's not just for old people, it's for all of us. It's derived from one of the oldest species of trees that bears the same name and used in traditional Chinese medicine for several ailments. So you can think of it as like the lavender of rose or rose quartz of Chinese medicine, including depression and poor sexual function.
Mm.
So, okay, maca, MACA, not matcha, but maca, is a sweet root vegetable
Mm.
that is mainly grown in the mountains of central Peru, and it's actually known as the Peruvian Viagra.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
So it can come in powder form and it can also come encapsulated. So you can get both. And I do have both. I have a powder form that I like to make a maca coffee, quote unquote coffee with, and then I have it in a more like potent form and basically it's just the powderized root vegetable in a capsule. So you can get it either way, however you prefer to take it. It can counteract the loss of libido that commonly occurs as a side effect of certain antidepressants.
Mm,
So
mhm.
if you're an antidepressant taker, this one and ginkgo biloba are both really good for that. Red ginseng is another popular herb used in Chinese medicine that may improve sexual arousal during menopause. So got some for our older listeners here. The next one I found hilarious. My husband is Spanish, and not to like air all of his stuff on the podcast, but and if you've ever known anybody from Spain, their sex drive is off the charts. And I don't like, as a country, I'm like, how do you all do this? And I figured out why. Because saffron, which is
Ah.
used like a ton, I mean, it's like one of the number one ingredients in paella, which is their national dish. I actually don't quote me on that. I would assume it's their national dish, but um, it's native to Southwest Asia. It is very expensive because it's
Because saffron is
basically,
expensive.
and you know what? It's the sex organ of a flower. That's what saffron is. So I'm kind of like full circling this in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I'm making all these amazing connections. So that's why it's so expensive because it has to be hand harvested out of the flower. And it's basically the sex organ of the flower. It's how
Yeah, because
flowers
it's
make
just like
more
this
flowers.
it's like literally a thread looking thing?
Yeah, it's a thread and I don't I'm like, I don't wanna misspeak, but I do it all the time, so let's just go for it. It's like I think it's the piston. It's basically
Mm,
what it's
mhm.
what yeah.
It's like the
It's the sex
pistol and
that one, pistol, maybe.
the
Piston? I don't know. Fuck.
you
Something
guys
like that.
can
You get it.
find out.
It's often used as an alternative remedy to help treat depression, reduce stress, and enhance mood. So it does
Well, there
more
you
than
go.
just get you happy in your pants. Fenugreek is my last one. It's popular in okay, here I go. Popular in Ayurvedic medicine. Did I say that right?
Ayurvedic.
Ayurvedic. I can never say it right. Popular in Ayurvedic medicine as an anti-inflammatory and libido boosting treatment. The herb appears to contain compounds that the body can use to make sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone.
Well,
And
there we go.
I had a lot of fenugreek. I used fenugreek in a milk production capacity when I was breastfeeding my kids, but I thought it was interesting that it you can also use it for sexy time.
Yeah, I've never had fenugreek. I don't think I have. I probably have and didn't know it maybe.
It's a very strong taste. It's used a lot in Indian
Mm,
cooking. Um, it has a almost like a licorice flavor to it.
okay.
So I wouldn't like sprinkle fenugreek directly into your mouth. It's a lot.
Just take it right before? No,
Yeah,
don't do
just
that.
lick some off your hand. No, I don't I mean, unless that's what you're into, go for it, but, maybe you could somehow figure out a way to incorporate that into your Valentine's meal or, if you're having a spicy curry, you could put some fenugreek in there, but yeah, those are my
I
food
like
nerd
it.
descriptions of foods that can get you going on Valentine's Day if you wanna make a menu or you wanna go out to eat and you find a great oyster bar, always a good choice.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the food and what I was going to say is we can post your recipes, all this stuff, maybe in our Facebook group or something like that. Some of the recipes for the essential oils. I forgot to talk about jasmine because there's so much stuff to talk about jasmine. It's literally like it nurtures healthy sexuality and helps balance sexual forces and it says it arouses dormant passions
Ooh.
and all the things. Like, cause didn't, Cleopatra, she literally would put jasmine on her sails. Like, if she was sailing somewhere, like, she would come and, like I think it was
What
Cleopatra.
a fucking queen move.
Hell yeah.
I
It's
love
like
she's
yes.
amazing.
So, um, jasmine is a big one too for that. So, maybe we do some of those recipes for essential oils, recipes for food, um, how to use the crystals, and I think one of the more overview important things that we were thinking about is um bringing romance in your life can be difficult at sometimes right
Mhm,
but making a practice about it, making some intention, and placing some of these crystals on, putting some essential oils on and laying down and visualizing, thinking about, like, how do you want to romance someone and how do you want to be romanced? And what does that look like? What does it feel like? What do you do? What does that other person do? Do you get dressed up and go out on a date first? Is it you're sitting by candlelight? Like fire is passion and it creates a wonderful mood, I think.
mhm.
And do you sit by a fireplace? Is it you eat these kinds of foods? What is that for you and how do you cultivate that? Um, is what makes me excited about this particular hoedown lowdown.
So maybe, like, do a quick visualization, like a
Yeah.
visualization meditation. A lot of athletes do that where they visualize themselves winning that Super Bowl or crossing that finish line. So, kind of using that visualization meditation technique to manifest what you want out of your romantic life, what you want out of your partner, and how you can help your partner in turn manifest what they want as well.
Yeah, and just literally the last thing I really wanna talk about is the love languages and how that can be
Yes.
so important in romance, and regardless if your partner is just acts of service, I think we all like all of those love languages. So, how can you touch on the words of affirmation to your partner? Like, there's so many ways you can affirm them. Um, the acts of service, the quality time. How can you sit down and have quality time in Rome and create romance from that? Um, what are the other ones?
Physical
Quality
touch, that's an easy
Physical
one.
touch, of course, yeah, that's that I mean,
You can
but it
tell that
also
that's Alex's one, those
you're
Spaniards.
like, "Yes, yes, physical touch." But sometimes it's like getting to that first physical touch can be, like, a leap or, like, you have to use a lot of energy. You're like, "Oh, I like to first someone hold my hand," right? Like a little
Right.
foreplay in the physical touch, right? Like, it can start out small or a little kiss or whatever. Um, but using those love languages in that romance in as a holistic zone instead of just physical or just quality time, but
Right.
as a whole, I don't know,
And you can take
spectrum.
the love language quiz online for free. I'm actually writing a note right now, and we will post the link to that in the show notes. So there's going to be a lot of episode and or a lot of resources in the show notes for you guys this week. Reba, I'm so proud of us. We're at 31 minutes.
Whew.
High five, we did
Woo!
it. So get out there, start incorporating some of these awesome holistic modalities and techniques, and, experiment with your Valentine's this year and let us know how, let us know how it goes.
I mean, like,
Like,
not all of
I don't
it.
need to know all of it, but you know what we mean. Have some boundaries. We get it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
All
happy
right.
Romance Day.
Happy Romance Day. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.